with us and join the crew on an epic adventure of thrills, chills, and kills. Together, we will explore death, heroes, and the abyss. Sometimes we do not make it to a happy afterlife. Listen as our heroes rise up and do what many cannot. Here, on the Chronicles of the Lost Realm spin-off show, Four Corners of Hell.
Suck a fish.
Whoa, I don't want to suck any fish.
Guys, welcome to Four Corners of Hell. I am the storyteller. You can call me Christopher Stolle, and with me is the crew that was with us in the last couple episodes. You know them as Lemmy Stormkiller.
Hello, everyone.
Frankie.
Hi.
Oliver.
Hello.
The Muffin Man.
My name is Phil.
Melwood.
Top of the morning to everybody, and who needs a drink?
And somebody who's just sick and tired of the group she winds up with all the time, Valhana.
The crying. Oh, the crying. I need to find the crying.
All right.
We finally broke her.
When last we left off, our crew was standing in the middle of Varesh during the White Dragon attack on the Stumble crew, when time was frozen solid, and out come the Chronicler to decide that everything has gone completely belly side up and that it was time for a fresh start. Sending the group originally intended for a dwarven encampment wound up in a dungeon in God knows where with the bodies of two former party members. And as they release out, they realized that they were in store for more than they bargained for as they continued down this dark hallway. You guys just got done battling the skeletons, and you were looking around at the dust piles and were collecting up vials of it because it was an important spell component for some of the magic users. And you guys have only traveled 50 feet.
Woohoo!
That far?
Making farther than normal.
With the exception of Phil, who traveled 30 feet back to get out of the way.
So I've only traveled 20 feet.
30 feet back into blood.
Oh, I love that band.
Yeah, that's copyright for anybody, any emo posers out there. Like, that's a great name for our band, man. It's ours first.
All intellectual property is ours.
30 feet back to hide behind me.
So as you
back of the blood.
So as you guys collect up your vials and straighten yourself out, and Valhana collects herself after pretty much getting manipulated into springing that trap, if you will, you realize that you still can't go back, and there's nowhere to go but forward. So what do you guys do?
Go forward?
Go forward.
Onward and upward.
Is there any more crying from future selves?
Oh, there's again the same amount of noise. It has not diminished just because the 12 skeletons are gone. You're just not hearing it.
She's just further walking in front of us.
There's a lot of skeletons in this place.
All of a sudden, season 1 of this show sounds like it's just going to be getting through this hallway.
Chapter 1, the hallway.
I mean, has nobody seen The Shining?
Yeah, right. Hey, yeah, the blood, All we need is twin little girls.
Don't give him ideas.
No, we got 12 skeletons.
I can bring some skeletons to life. They were little girl skeletons. Come on. I can bring some.
As you guys are walking down the hallway, you come about 100 feet and you come to the next cell. From there, Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can there be any cotton in my component pouch?
I don't know. Was there any cotton in your component pouch?
I believe so.
Then yes.
Okay, so I pull out some cotton and I try to see if anybody will put it. Anybody taller than me will put it in her ears.
Okay.
That works. So I'm gonna shove them in my ears because I can't hear anything.
All right. So you can't hear it. Wait, I just want to make sure I'm perfectly clear. You took out some cotton from your spell components and you gave it to Valhalla, who proceeded to shove it into her ears where she cannot hear anything.
Yes.
Did I understand that? Okay. Perfect.
Well, that'll come to bite us in the butt later.
Yep.
I was just thinking that.
All right, so you come to the next cage and you see two absolutely stunningly beautiful blonde-haired naked women who are gesturing like the come hither gesture.
Phil, what are you doing on this?
To Lemmy.
I think this is a good one for Phil. I really think he would be immune to this.
Like picture Pornhub. Like these girls are massaging each other and as slutty as you could possibly think, but I mean they are hot. And they are hot for you, Lemmy. And as one sits down to be able to kind of whip her hair back and kind of spread eagle a little bit, giving you a peek of the goods, you realize that she's sitting on a keg of mead.
Oh, now you got me. You had my attention. Now you have me interested.
And as you see the other one come over and start rubbing on the leg of the one that's sitting on the keg,
Hey, you're blocking the keg. You're blocking the keg. Out of the way.
She's running her hand down the other one's leg and then reaching in and just caressing the tap.
Oh, I know what this is. These are just illusions. I can do that too.
And I cast minor illusion right on Lemmy with a is a girl, a naked girl, just like that, holding a stein, just right in front of him.
And Melwood, is seeing Lemmy as the naked chick with the stein?
No, it's just right in front of Lemmy.
Oh, okay.
To give Lemmy something else to look at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right. Well, while Lemmy's looking at the stein lady, the other one proceeds to open the tap a little bit to get her hand wet with the components inside. And just kind of gives a flick to Lemmy and to other members of the crew where they get splashed on by legitimate mead. And as you look back at them, the one that did that is now kind of like licking her fingers, tasting the mead that she just poured on her hand to be able to flick towards you guys to show that this is no trick.
Lemmy's all leaning on the wall at the illusion that Phil made, and he's like, "Och, guten Tag, Fräulein."
She says something back to you in German. Just and starts walking away sultrily down the hall forward, giving you the finger of "come to me."
I'm not even paying attention to her. I'm following that stein.
The girls in the cell look visibly disappointed at Lemmy's departure and then look over at Melwood.
And he starts walking away. It's frickin' mead.
As you all
It's a trap.
As you all start walking away, the only one left standing there is Valhalla. Who heard
as Phil walks past, he just looks at the beautiful woman and goes,
I'm only into gnome girls. Sorry, ladies.
You know, gnome girls, they got them small hands. Make everything look like.
Especially on a 6'7" orc.
"Yeah, you know."
Oh, good
Oh
lord.
boy,
Oh,
this
good
show
lord.
went downhill.
Me.
You brought the girls in.
So as oh my
There's
God.
something about those small women. I don't know.
You just set him down and spin him like a top.
What did we join?
A gentleman never tells.
It's a good thing you're not a gentleman.
Valhana looks over at the cage and sees the women in their true form of shrieking hags, mouths wide open and agape, kind of like the demon creatures in the movie Spawn. Just the elongated lower jaw, and trying to reach through the cages towards the departing party. Of course, she can't hear any of the noise they're making. She just sees the gestures.
So, with me being deaf and kind of still pissed off because I got tricked before, I kind of mock them and make it, put my hands up and make the stupid face that they're making at me and walk away.
All right, so that was one avoided.
Only in Dungeons and Dragons can hell be taken as a joke.
This is just the entrance level.
Right.
Come on, do you think hell would really start off hell proper would it start off with skeletons?
Right.
You
Only
underestimate our
599 to go. Let's. Oh.
All right, so continuing down the hallway, more dark cells, more screams, moans, the typical nonsense, but pretty uneventful for pretty close to the end of the hallway. It's almost like it almost felt like you passed some tests, but really nothing too strenuous, nothing too far out of the way. And you finally come to the end of the hall and the metal door with the etching on it.
Can anyone read this?
It is in Goblinese.
I can read it.
Did you just say Goblinese?
Goblin Eve.
Yes.
And it states, "Oh, abandon faith, all who ye enter here, and don't forget the spare rib."
It says we shouldn't enter. Something about a rib.
We can fix the rip.
No, not rib.
I once knew a man named Rip.
Essentially, what you get out of it is it's a warning that you really don't want to go further.
That's what I said.
Well, I'm
Not
given
exactly.
our options.
You sound very quiet.
Yeah.
Speak
How about
into
now?
the mic.
A little bit better, but still a little quiet.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, snap.
Always. How about now?
There we
Very
go.
much better.
I hate this thing. My mic.
Okay, what did you say?
I don't even remember now. Yeah, but we got to go forward. Something along those lines.
Well, lead the way.
Fuck it.
Oh. So Oliver's going to be the first one to attempt the door.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick you, tap it with my boot. I don't want to touch it with bare skin because we're in hell.
Okay,
yeah,
you kick the door and it clangs like metal. Doesn't open or anything. It has a handle.
Oh.
The door's closed.
I guess I'll use the handle like a normal person.
Towing a closed door is never going to open it. All right, so you
Maybe it was cursed. I don't know.
all right, so you're just going to grab the handle and see if it's locked or anything and open it up.
That's a terrible idea, but yeah.
As we're all standing behind you in this hallway.
Somebody-
Observing.
Waiting.
Everybody's
Somebody's
watching closely. Will he fry? Will he burn up?
As
I'll
you
bring
turn-
you
vote
back
is
if
he's-
you do.
We've all
He
got
freezes.
clipboards. We're like waiting to see what happens.
You almost wish the blighted crow was here for this one, don't you? Oh, goody!
Start
I
out
feel
with,
like-
just kind of touching the handle with like my fingertips and see if anything
just-
happens.
Stop right there. Don't go on any further. I think I'll use my ring of telekinesis to do that.
Yeah, that works. Have at it.
So let's open the door by moving the handle and pushing in the door, or pushing and pulling on the door to see if it opens.
All right. Well, the handle releases the latch and door swings open.
And now I push him through just to see if there's anything on the other side. He wanted to go first anyway.
I glare.
You do that?
No, I'm not that cruel yet.
Okay.
You've been able to do that the whole time.
That would have been very nice to know.
On
You
with
can
the
help me
muffin
in my
man.
bakery. I won't need hot bits anymore.
Did you just say you won't eat hobbits anymore?
I won't need hot mitts.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
Today's my
Hobbits
11th
are
100th
delicacy,
birthday.
Telekinesis, I'll never eat hobbits again.
Second breakfast, anybody?
You are the second breakfast.
Zing.
So as the door creaks open, all of a sudden the hallway is flooded with a blinding, warming light. And as you look through and step through the doorway, you find yourself in a wide open wheat field. Blue sky, sun shining. It is slight breeze, warm. It's an idyllic scenario, scene, beautiful temperature, very, very serene.
This truly is hell.
Lemmy immediately drops his shield and his sword and starts running his hands through the wheat field as he's walking along.
I know what you're referencing. All right, so yeah, it's a wide open field, goes on to an expanse where you can see off in the distance some foothills and a little bit of a wooded area. It doesn't resemble anywhere you would particularly know, but it definitely looks like a place that doesn't belong with what you've seen thus far. But you don't hear any birds in the sky. There's no critters crawling around in the wheat. The wheat's about waist high, which for Frankie means it's tickling her nose hairs.
Sneeze.
And as I said, the only thing you really see is some foothills out in the distance and a small outcropping of forest. Nothing else.
Go check out that forest.
Does the air smell fresh and clean down here or in here?
Beautiful summer day.
Oh, guys, my sinuses are so clear now.
I start humming, do you know the Muffin Man? I recently learned it.
I'm gonna step through and then turn around and look at the doorway.
All right.
Is it like a does it look like a portal, or is it like just a random door frame in the middle of a field?
Well, the first thing I need to know is everybody out in the field? Did everybody go through the doorway?
Lemmy is.
I'm following because
Yeah, I
I
am.
stuff.
Oh, it might as
I'm
well,
right
so that the
behind
dungeon can
Oliver.
go away.
All right. So everybody went through the door, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so when you turn around to observe the door, all you see is just expansive sky and more field.
Yeah.
No going back now.
Yep, definitely no going back that way.
I hate feckin' hell.
You there, the cloaked one. Pointing at Ollie. You said something about exploring the forest.
Yeah. Where else are we going to go?
I enjoy this idea. Let's go explore the forest.
Yes, Lemmy, let's move on with Maximus. Attention.
Nice.
Now I kind of regret I turned off my camera because I just want to give a thumbs down. To me, it would be comicus.
Lemmy, is
Well,
it?
I was
You
picturing
seem
the wheat
happier
field.
now.
The hands in the wheat field.
Quite. I can breathe. I feel magnificent here.
You know, you can brew some really nice whiskey with this wheat.
All right, so what direction is everybody heading? Are you going to take a break, maybe have lunch, or recoup from your ordeals and kind of take this moment of reprieve, or are you just going to march on, and where are you marching to?
30 silver for a muffin.
Muffin Man, there's copious amounts of wheat. Bake us some goods.
I need an oven
Yeah,
first.
just bake some shit right here, right now. Turn this wheat into pastries.
I have no idea how cooking works. Lemmy is oblivious to these things.
Oh God.
Oh, shit.
Get me an oven and I'll bake you a cake.
What is an oven?
Oh my lord. That's the first time I think I've ever felt sadness.
I love the fact that he's getting the everybody else. It's like, oh, I feel bad for him.
Well,
Let us not forget that as serene as this may seem right now, we are still in hell.
good point.
Always such a downer.
Does anyone require rest?
No, we've just been throwing around cantrips.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what all everybody had cast. There was a lot of spells going on, so I mean, I'm full on my hit points, not to meta, but I mean, Lemmy does not need to rest. He can continue.
Alana's good. She's just deaf right now.
Nobody got hurt yet.
I didn't think so. So, I mean, if nobody needs to rest, I say that we continue to the forest.
To the forest.
To the woods.
Off to grandmother's house we go.
All
The
right.
forest our only option, or because I heard something about hills too.
Yeah,
Is it-
foothills or forest.
Should we put it to a vote?
You know, if I had to make a choice, the hills look tall, and I hate climbing shit.
Mm.
Trees are tall too, silly.
Well, perhaps there's gold.
Yes, but they're on flat ground, where we'll be walking.
Perhaps there's gold in them thar hills, or even music.
Because they are
Oh
alive
my
with
God,
the
we're
sound
not
of
going to
music.
go over there and sing.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, now the sound of music kicks off.
The hills are alive with the sound
No!
of music.
Fireball on the hill! It's alive!
Well, somebody did bring along the German girl.
Oh, that's already dissipated before you walk through the door.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to the hill. The hills area then. We could see better there.
All right, so the party's decision's the hill.
I think Ollie's having some technical difficulties again because I could barely hear him trying to say stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Melwood votes for the hills.
Well,
I vote
Melwood,
for the forest.
I'm
Over
voting for
hills
the
and far
forest.
away.
I'm voting for the forest too. There might be some gnome girls in there for me.
Oh my.
there's no place like Nome.
Oh.
Exactly.
Death must now occur.
Death must happen to somebody. All right, so what's the party's decision?
I like the hills. We can see further away. We go into the forest, and we're talking, cover and concealment for the bad guys.
Cover and concealment for us too.
I say we also get the cover.
We're a party of wizards and a great big fighter dude. What cover and concealment are we going to use?
Melwood, we are the bad guys.
and I make sure my cloak is up, and then I go under the wheat, and nobody can see me.
Just where it moves.
You gotta love short girls.
I mean, my cloak also is a concealment thing. It's a cloak of elven kind. It's not just that I'm short.
Oh, well, at least in this episode we made it 60 feet.
Oh my
gosh.
god. Gotta love short girls. That voice just ruins it.
I really hate being short in real life right now, just so you guys know.
I'm fucking crying right
Are
now.
you-
Valhana's
are
gonna
you-
steal my soul.
Are you just upset that you've never hidden in the wheat before?
A little bit.
Okay, so you guys can kind of see the wheat moving as something is moving in the wheat towards the forest away from you guys.
I kick it.
I think
Go
Melwood
kick it.
might have a point. Maybe we should go to the hills.
It doesn't look like the forest is going anywhere. Well, we hope it's not going to move. But let's try the hills first and get a good look around.
They could be ants.
I pop up and I'm like, the hills aren't going anywhere either.
Yes,
Jesus
we
Christ, still here?
I'm gonna yell at her. Frankie, stop fucking around and come on.
Actually, Melwood does have a point. If we get higher ground, we can see how big the forest is.
True.
Also a good point.
I go back into the wheat and I start walking towards the hills. You can see wheat just moving towards the hills.
I feel like this keeps getting in the way. Someone burn it down.
Oh, really? Seriously, I could do that.
You'll hurt us too.
Oh, well, some of us.
Like the one hiding in it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the party has grown. I
I was
can't
gonna
quite
say-
protect as many as I used to.
Melwood's sitting there counting on his fingers like,
Somebody's got to burn.
All right,
someone's
everybody
getting
pick straws.
voted off the island.
What straw doesn't get saved?
All right, let's go to the woods.
All right,
I'm
so
following,
let's go to the
following
hill.
Frankie
We're going to the hills.
for the hill.
The hill. To the hills.
over the river and through the hills, the grandmother's house we go. All right,
That'll 10 minutes.
or was it over the river and through the woods, the grandmother's house we go?
Well, we're not going to grandma's. We're going to the feckin' hills.
Just can't seem to remember. But as you walk on, you about an hour or so goes by. I don't need that on since we're not video recording. About an hour goes by. Nothing has really changed, but it does seem like it's starting to reach dusk time. Like the sun is starting to set. You see a nice red hue over the horizon. You know, still a pleasant breeze. Still very stark quiet. No animals or rustling sounds. Just very, very empty for how beautiful of the scene. It just feels very, very stock. You know, like you're staring at a painting, as opposed to actually being out in nature. But off in the distance, closer to the hills, you see nestled at the base of one particular foothill, you see a cottage. It's not in great shape, but it's by no means in disrepair. You can definitely tell it's been there for a while, and it's been well loved. You know, you could see that at one time it was painted, but the paint had faded. You know, the roof has been thatched and repaired and replaced with holes or whatever. Yeah, the windows still have glass within them. The door is still, sturdy to the doorway. And, of course, like the little white picket fence is no longer really white, but still standing. You definitely tell that although it's not in the newest of conditions, it hasn't been abandoned. As a matter of fact, you could see plumes of black smoke rising up out of its chimney. You almost get the impression of cooking fires.
I pop out of the wheat next to Oliver. Should we go say hi?
It does seem like someone's home.
To grandmother's house we go.
The hills animate with the euphonious symphonies of descent.
I don't know what that means, but I like the sound of it.
I think we should go check the cottage. Surely it is a trap, as before, but it's nothing we can't handle. And maybe they have one of these ovens in which you can make pastries.
Oh my god.
Ovens.
Oh man.
It's pronounced oven.
Tomato, potato. Let us go.
Oh my god. So you guys are heading to the cottage?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So as you're only about 100 yards away from it, and again, nothing in the way, nothing impeding. You make it all the way up to the front gate.
Oh, neat. Well,
It's a gate.
I suppose this was my idea, so I will go first.
Okay.
I'm going to kick the gate open.
You hear a very old voice. Please do be careful with that.
My apologies.
Who are you and what do you want?
I am Lemmy Stormkiller, and this is my merry band. We are here to collect food for the starving, which is us. We are starving.
Do you have an Uvan?
Captain, I protest. I am not a merry man.
Okay. So they're more slightly disgruntled than merry, but still.
I'm pretty merry.
Why, yes, you are.
Oh my god. I gotta move my mic away a second. Out of character a minute. Scott, I bow to you. I think this character has become my new favorite. I think he's beaten out the Blighted Crow. Holy shit.
Now I can't imagine him in anything else but a long-haired wig saying, I'm pretty merry.
I am not a merry man.
So the old voice says back to you about the food. I have plenty of food. What do you have to trade?
I have this small, dark goblin drow thing.
Whoa. You are not selling my companion.
Oh, no, my good man. We're not selling her. We're trading her.
We're not trading anybody.
Does she taste good with parsnips?
Undoubtedly.
Come in. We can talk.
Put my arm out and keep Frankie behind me.
Meanwhile, I'm just like shrugging, looking at everyone like, I don't know.
Hi ho, let's cook the little hoe.
Oh my.
So the door cracks open, and what you see before you is a single room cottage, with a staircase going up into the the bed chambers above, and it's beautifully furnished. Old carved wooden chairs and a nice ornate table, and of course a little like a hutch, for the silverware and the plates and stuff, and beautiful end tables and a nice straw couch. And I mean, it's not riches, but you could definitely tell this was handiwork from somebody who spent their life working with their hands. And every detail has been lovingly created within all the carvings, all the woodwork. And of course, standing there is a little old man who's hunchbacked and hands are kind of gnarled, and when he looks at you, you could see a couple whiskers just protruding from his mostly shaven face, and hair kind of pushed back but out of place because it just won't stay. Fingers are really, really gnarled, and he's constantly making like a lip smack because he doesn't have much teeth, and he just gives you a once-over look that you can see. What catches you the most is the look in his eyes. It's very sharp as a hawk. Like, this guy may have been bent and crumbled from years and years and years of labor and then just age, but his mind is still sharp as a tack. And he just looks you all over and says, "Well, were you born in a barn? Shut the door!"
Since I have not gone through the gate, I make sure my hood is up, and I bend down, and I say, "You go ahead. They won't take me alive," and I run back in the wheat.
I'll just kind of look over my shoulder and just sigh. I don't know what to
Alrighty
do.
then.
I'm going to take my cotton swabs out of my ears because I don't think there's any crying going on because it's such a nice looking place, and I'm just going to follow.
So what brings you here?
A little guy in a red robe.
I honestly have no idea what's going on.
We are on a quest to find an oven.
It's pronounced oven.
Potato, tomato.
I have an oven. You can see right here, and he points to a potbelly stove with with the iron skillet top, and you do smell. You realize now that you look at it that he is cooking something in the potbelly stove, and it's smelling like venison.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
There
was gonna be a problem if there was anything like baked goods. There was gonna be a problem.
Skeletons?
smells like venison, like fresh game.
Nice. Well, I pull out a chair and sit down at the table.
Rude.
When's dinner?
When you explain to me why I should feed you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He asked a question, didn't he? Melwood, why are we here?
That beats the living hell out of me. First there's a red dragon, then there's a white dragon, then we're in a freaking dungeon.
Dragon? Where?
I am just as confused as everyone else.
What is all over you? He says to Phil. He starts
Oh, you mean?
wiping off your chest.
Oh, I believe that's just flour.
Flour? Are you a baker?
I am. I'm one of the best.
Lemmy pops up. I'm a candlestick maker.
Cannot be better than my ex-wife, and will you shut him up?
Well, I do happen to have some muffins with me.
Muffins? If you want to impress me, you would make a chocolate cake.
Do you have the ingredients?
I certainly do, and I'll make a deal with you. You produce a delicious chocolate cake, and I will set the table for all of you.
Well, challenge accepted. They give me 2 hours.
Very well. There is a fresh rain barrel in the back if you wish to freshen up.
Why, thank you.
And he goes back to the barrel to wash his hands. And cast prestidigitation on himself to get rid of any excess grime.
Good. All right, so basically you guys have gotten some time. You can look around the place. The old man excuses himself. He decides that since it's going to be about at least another hour before the venison is ready to serve, he is going to go ahead and take a quick nap. He offers for you guys to make yourselves at home. Feel free to look around. Nothing out of the ordinary here at all. Just short rest for you guys while Phil is making a chocolate cake.
Sweet.
That sounds so wrong. For a D&D game, he's making a cake.
Check on Frankie since she ran out into the damn wheat.
All right, so you step outside to go find your friend, and she's still hiding just outside the front gate in the wheat.
Frankie, what are you doing? He's not going to eat you.
I pop up and I'm like, he asked if I tasted good.
You'll be fine. Come inside and try to be normal.
She's one of the most normal of us.
It's also true.
I come inside, and as I go by the gate, it like squeaks, and I play with it a little bit.
I just kind of nudge her, like, come on.
All right, as you guys come back in, you see that the old man has woken from his nap and is now, scuttling along, going from his hutch to the table, setting out the plates and the silverware and the cutlery, and brandishing. He sent Lemmy and Melwood into the basement to bring up a cask of beer, his own brew.
Yeah.
To be able.
I mean, it's probably not the best to send down there for it.
That was a very bad idea.
Who comes back upstairs?
Beer.
We couldn't find the beer, so we stand down there till we do.
It was too heavy to carry up, so we had to empty it.
Yeah, we had to drink some of that so it can make it up here.
We couldn't move the first one without emptying it, so we brought up the second one.
Exactly. Now you're making sense.
Hang my head and face palms, kind of shaking my head.
Now I'm starting to feel Irish again.
All right, so as you set the cask and are set to the task of filling up some tankards for everybody to have with their meals, the old man starts slicing out this beautiful hunk of venison, just like, a side flank and leg, meat, and just slicing it like a Thanksgiving turkey and putting out beautiful strips for everybody and some homemade bread. Obviously, he lives around a whole bunch of wheat, so he makes everything himself.
Oh.
So fresh baked bread and hunks of venison and some moldy cheese for a siding and a couple pieces of fruit from the grapevines that he has growing in the backyard. And he invites you all to sit down to enjoy your meal.
Yes. So as Lemmy is shoveling things into his mouth, I'm going to look at the old man and, probably pretty rudely, but still, mouthful and everything. So why do you live in hell?
My boy, who said this is hell?
I look at Melwood. Did we get lost?
I motion Oliver to bend down towards me, so I whisper in his ear, and I'm like, why did he have so much food prepared?
Oh, now you're going to ask?
Well, I've been wondering, but I hadn't said anything. I'm not eating anything yet. I'm watching, and I'm waiting to see if anything else happens before I start eating.
Who does
I'm
eat?
assuming-
Well, we know Lemmy ate, right?
Oh yeah, Lemmy's just not even thinking about it. He's
Oh,
shoveling
yeah.
stuff.
Is the orc still cooking?
It's absolutely fine. It's the most delicious venison he's ever had.
You mean the cake?
No.
Still cooking the cake?
Yeah,
no, the orc,
she's-
isn't he still cooking the cake?
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah.
Still at, yeah, I'm still cooking.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Well, he's
sneakily
finished.
try to go over there.
He's finished with the cake itself. He's doing like the icing and all right now. Like
And casting minor illusion to make it smell absolutely divine, and casting prestidigitation to flavor it so that it's the most mouth-watering German chocolate cake you could ever think about tasting.
and then
Cheating.
then he conjures up that naked German wench from the tunnels to serve it.
Oh gosh.
Oxfurloin!
But no, as Lemmy's eating the meal, you see that he's not seemed fazed by it. In fact, it's absolutely delicious, and it's very warm and inviting, and it's almost refreshing to have a meal like this, because you almost get the impression that you have it, like, especially for Lemmy, hasn't had a meal like that in a very long time.
Not since my god left me.
Why did your god leave you?
No idea.
The old man leaves.
I'm on a quest to prove myself so that he will once again look down upon me in favor. But I no longer need his support. He left me, and now I'm leaving him.
The old man leans forward in his chair, staring directly at you with his sharp, almost all-knowing eyes, covered underneath the bushy eyebrows, and he just... Are you sure it wasn't you who left him?
Don't confuse the big guy, please.
And the old man sits back, folding his hands across his stomach, with a satisfied look on his face, like he just won an argument that wasn't even an argument.
Easy to do with Lemmy.
Now come, eat the food. It's not going to eat itself.
Nope.
Thank goodness. I'm tired of food that eats itself.
Well,
yeah, Lemmy just keeps eating.
My mother has always told me, if you do not eat your food,
You can't have any pudding.
No dessert. And he points to the chocolate cake that Phil is putting the finishing touches on.
Yes.
Well, I really want that cake. As
Right?
Rohana just starts shoving food in.
Oh, I'll eat mine.
You quiet again.
Yeah, you get your mics going low again. So basically, you guys sit down to a nice meal. Those that eat, eat.
No, I don't.
As I was saying, those that eat, eat. Those that don't, obviously, it goes to
Go
waste.
hungry.
Go hungry.
I'm gonna pat the table real quick for Phil so he can put the cake over by Lemmy. And assuming that he does when he gets over there, I got my mouth all full and everything. I just give him that full mouth smile and poke his belly.
I go over where Phil was cooking and I see if I can lick the bowls.
Wait, you're gonna lick the what?
The bowls! Oh my god!
Hi ho.
He does like those little
Oh my
the short
gosh.
ones.
Oh, Missy, while you're standing up there, would you mind clearing the table so that we could sit for dessert?
Are you speaking to me?
Who else is over there?
I guess that's fair.
You did say you were merry.
I am a very merry person.
All right, so as you're clearing, I want you to make a perception check for me.
Oh, man.
It's been a while since we rolled some dice.
Yeah. This is definitely not his strong suit, though.
That's okay.
Oh, boy.
What's the roll? I can't see it.
It hasn't loaded for me either.
15.
15, yeah.
Oh, that's not that bad.
That's good enough to realize. As you're clearing the plates, you do notice that, like, Lemmy cleared, like, 3 plates. And Valhalla and Frankie, they ate their plates, and you notice 2 plates that went completely untouched. One, of course, was Melwood, who absolutely refused to eat the food, didn't trust it.
I'm just gonna sit over in the corner here and enjoy my pomegranate seeds.
No, see, I was only licking the bowls of the chocolate stuff of
Okay.
the cake that was baked.
Okay, well, she didn't have a plate even set then. The other plate you noticed that went completely untouched, which you found to be strange, is the old man's.
You're all fecked.
Son of a...
Look at the old man.
Weren't you hungry?
Oh, no. At my age, I can only eat morsels here or there. I wanted to save room for the chocolate cake.
Well, like your mother once said, how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
My dear dense boy, my mother has been dead for centuries. What do I care
Well,
what
you
she
should
has
still
to say?
you should still respect her teachings.
And you should
I'm gonna
respect
pull
your,
out a brick.
and you should respect your elders and just go ahead and take that away so we can have some of your cake. Go.
Well, maybe you should just take one big bite of this venison for me, and then I won't charge you 3 gold for the cake.
These young people today have no respect for their elders.
I have a business to run.
As he takes a strip of venison and plops it into his mouth.
Teacher, leave them kids alone.
Halfway now.
I am very happy now. Thank you.
Oh, shit.
And I will place the cake right in front of the old man.
Perfect. And the old man produces a beautiful, ornate knife. You could definitely tell that this was a knife from a wedding. Like, that's the type of carvings it has to it and everything, like beautiful embroidery markings onto it and all. And he starts slicing down the cake and putting it on plates and passing it along to everybody so everybody gets a slice of cake. He's the final one. He takes a small sliver of a piece. He's a small guy. He only wants a small piece. He pushes the cake into the center of the table, and the big cake, what's left of it, and sits down and just starts eating the chocolate cake. And yes, he's enjoying the hell out of the cake. And
Good job, Phil.
It's an old gnomish recipe.
Yes, gnome. I could taste the gnome in it. Laugh, my boy. That was a joke.
I don't really laugh about my family like that. I'm sorry.
What kind of gnome are you to be that tall?
I'm an orphan, of course.
They grow orphans that big? Where are you from, boy?
A small gnomish village in the woods, south of Veron.
You look like no gnome I've ever seen before.
They adopted me. I'm an orphan.
So you're not a gnome. You were just raised by them.
Exactly. Gnomes don't have green skin.
Now, if you ate some of their cooking, you could have green skin.
I find that a little offensive.
Well, my apologies.
My mother was a very good cook. Thank you.
Well, my apologies. I will say that there has been times where I've had a taste for gnome, and it was very rare, but it was delicious when I did have it. But I've always had a taste for all the fine races. Gnome, Elven,
And lost travelers.
and as that voice changes, you see the eyes turn beet red, and the body of this old man the bones just start creaking and cracking. The neck starts elongating and cracking out, and he starts swelling out, and this tint of his skin changes from an old white Caucasian complexion to scaly and red. And his wings start ripping out of the backs of his back, and from his butt produces a tail. His fingers start clawing out. His maw starts elongating and popping out teeth. And what you see before you, protruding out of the house now, because it's grown that big, is a red dragon.
Oh no, I added too much chili powder.
It points at it, and I go, Oliver, it's a dragon!
And it looks directly at Valhana, Melwood, and Lemmy.
The cake is a lie.
Lemmy
We would not
flips the
finish.
table over.
I know you, don't I?
Do you think?
I went ahead and rolled initiative because I figured we were going to be.
Do you think we would not finish what we started in the cave?
We'd hoped.
Lemmy stands up and flips the table over, drawing his sword. Come at me, bro!
And that is where we will end this episode, guys.
No!
Thank you very much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. Guys, if you want to check this out and all the other ones, make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe button and everything else. Let's go ahead and get around at the table here and find out where people can find the talent if they want to check them out on their other shows. And, of course, guys, remember, come back because more is coming. I promise you. Let's go ahead and we'll start with Frankie tonight. Frankie.
You can find me here playing Frankie, but nowhere else because I am an AI just built to play drow goblins.
And Nicholas.
Or not.
I think we might have lost Nick. We'll come back to Nick. We'll go to Valhana.
You could find me here at Four Corners of Hell, being sick in hell and realizing the cake is a lie. And you can also find me in the Chronicles of the Lost Realm playing Valhana as well.
Nice. Mr. Joe Cahill.
Yeah, you can find me here, Chronicles of the Lost Realm, War of the Stars, and Joe Cahill, director-producer over on Facebook, and Steamhouse Entertainment on most platforms.
Mr. Ray Rumsey.
You can find me here playing Lemmy Stormkiller, Chronicles of the Lost Realm. I play the chronicler and, general storyteller. I do interviews with Breaking the Fourth Wall, a co-host on War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, and Shattered Dawn on Tuesdays. If you go to Facebook, you can type any one of those lovely names into the search, and it'll probably pop up as the first one. So check them out.
And, of course, the star of the night, well, let's be fair, Mr. Scott.
To be fair.
You can find me here baking cakes for dragons, apparently, right here in hell.
On Four Corners of Hell. You can also find me in Chronicles of the Lost Realm playing the Blighted Crow, if you please.
Very nice. And, of course, you can find me right here being a storyteller for Four Corners of Hell or playing Ferran Take hopefully, if he survives the mid-season, on Chronicles of the Lost Realm. Or you can find me over at our sister channel, Realm of the Mist Entertainment, on many of the podcasts there. And, of course, if you want to hear these in audio-only format, you can check out Realm of the Mist Entertainment at Anchor.fm, iTunes, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us, and we will catch you next time on the Four Corners of Hell. Have a good night. From celebrity interviews to Star Wars, to things that shouldn't be said but had to be said, to conspiracy theories, or maybe just a night of playing Dungeons and Dragons, whatever the podcast you're looking for could be found here at Realm of the Mist Entertainment. Make sure you check out all of our shows because there's something for everybody there.